Alright, here we go. This is a ranked 1v1 on Chasm between the Carbon player in the upper left. It is R3ddog in the Alpha Striker, and his opponent, the blue player in the bottom right. It is Atyla in the Void Osprey, in a blue Void Osprey with dark blue Void disco balls following around him. So that looks pretty cool. Not gonna lie. A lot of people use, like, they try to color match and like aesthetically match their mechs and their pets and stuff like that. I kind of do it a little bit, but this one, I gotta hand it to Atyla. Good job with that one. So both players going for the outpost that their creeps initially walk to, because and Happy Death is whispering the player who submitted this in the middle of this, so that's what that is. In the replay for some reason records those messages also. I don't know why, but anyway. The creeps on Chasm go in different directions because the doors on the fort are not facing consistent direction. And R3ddog with the early harass, and Atyla does not notice that harass is going on. I'm a little surprised to see Atyla flying away from that, but R3ddog getting the jump on the harass. I'm a little bit surprised to see, okay, there you go, there's the single flacker that Atyla was going to make. I was going to say I'm a little bit surprised to see no AA by Atyla, especially. Atyla's one, you know, a very high tier player, so I would think that early game AA, especially against a striker player, would be something pretty standard to make. And Atyla actually getting killed by R3ddog right before he transformed, and that spectacular death flare right there. Cosmetic. Fireworks when you die, pretty cool. But R3ddog dropping a couple jumpers and does get this outpost neutralized. Will not be able to grab it. Not going to try, actually. Okay, just going for harass. Does realize that he does not have enough time, and he's not far enough ahead to grab that outpost, so it doesn't go back for creeps. I don't know if he was initially trying to get a cheese, but considering the post that he was going for, it does make sense that he was just going for the harass, especially since Atyla was alive and actively responding to his his harassment attempt. Both players now have both of their outposts on their side of the map. R3ddog starting the mid-fight a little bit ahead. No, actually, nothing has been attacked yet. Has more units in the area than Atyla, but Atyla actually now... Okay, no, it's pretty even. So it's 15-14 right now, and Atyla getting himself killed one more time. I guess the initial time wasn't getting himself killed, because R3ddog got the finish, but this time it was all T99, all neutral T99 in the face. So Atyla now respawned, coming back to the fight, 19-15. So Atyla slightly behind, excuse me, and R3ddog completely clearing his side of the neutrals on mid. Probably not going to try to go for a ferry over at this point, considering the amount of units that Atyla has in build queue. Gonna drop a couple jumpers from harass. Oh, okay. Okay, gonna start the ferry over. Okay, that's a little dangerous. But dropping the jumper so he can keep the outpost under his control. Now random stuff being ferried over. Atyla pulling back, and R3ddog actually going to be able to hold mid. Okay, so that swift move, and Atyla being safe and pulling back instead of trying to fight the fight against the striker, but as an Osprey, but with no generator. So that's the one thing I would have expected Atyla to have just a single generator. Even this early in the game, it does make sense, especially on Chasm, which is basically a mid-fight map. Oh, and a fixer I think that got spawned from a dead ratchet that's randomly disarming heavy mines and going for this outpost. But yeah. 17-24, so Atyla is actually the one ahead, but only because of heavy mines on the field, I would assume, and that is 5, so it is more like 19-17, which is pretty close to even comparatively. But with the middle outpost under his control, R3ddog will be able to pull ahead, as middle gives you not just more max upkeep, but a lot more credits, or at least the single outpost. A one outpost difference is very significant in today's meta, as outpost benefits have been buffed fairly recently. And when I say recently, guys, it's all relative, because I've been with the AirMech community for like 6 years, so it's been like maybe 2 months or 3 months or so since the outpost benefits increase. I think, give or take. I don't know. It's called kind of like a time blur for me because of how long I've been doing this. R3ddog with a couple of jumper drops, not really doing any significant damage, just basically taking up Atyla's time. Is that even what Atyla has in cargo? Okay, yes. But the jumper is actually not set on attack, so they will come back to this post and get themselves killed pretty much. and just even more jumpers. Is RedDog just going to go straight for a harass? Yes, not going to go for... This is not really a cheese attempt because he's aware that Atyla will be able to respond in time, so was going to try to just get a neutralization, I would assume, I think. I mean, and now selling the jumpers, but I think 75% is what you get back for recycle nowadays. Not going to fight the artillery fight against an Osprey, which is kind of smart, but will be very hard to sustain, especially with no healing units down, which he does not, has 0, and just 3 Archies up for Atyla. So what is RedDog going to choose to do? Maybe queue up a couple of units over here is maybe what he did, because he flew in that direction. I only have tanks and a ratchet and build queue, so I'm a little bit confused right now. But Atyla with a great spread, tons of heavy mines to cover the path to fort, and now has enough. Okay, a great spread by RedDog too, but again, no healing units, so he's gonna have to do micro to get the healing 100% on his own. Okay, now Ratchet does go down, which is pretty much necessary, especially if he wants to fight a long drawn-out fight. And assuming no heavy mines, could potentially push out, or at the very least push to top, which is relatively lightly defended compared to the amount of units at mid, I guess. Or maybe a light unit to, a light unit push, rush to that top outpost. But considering the possibility, and obviously there are because we're in spectator, we can see them, heavy mines out on the field, RedDog doesn't really have too many options, especially on Chasm. This map is really not that great for fights that aren't droppy, like cheese heavy, you really do have to push the bridge if you want to do something other than the mid fight, unless you can do some kind of infantry drop and cheese. But this is going to be pretty prolonged, I feel. There are a lot of Buckies out on the field for RedDog. Well, a lot equals 3, I guess, which is about the amount of artillery that Atyla has on the field as well. But Atyla, as the Osprey, going to be able to keep everything topped off. Again, no generator in the area, which is a little bit surprising to see. Even though it is a short flight distance back to this outpost, the generator would be pretty much invaluable, and it would almost definitely be worth the cost. Atyla has stacked all of his creeps over here. RedDog has not done any creep stacking at all as of now. Let's see, 43 to 49, so it's still pretty even, again, considering the number of heavy mines out on the field for Atyla. And RedDog just slowly making his way to the right side over here, but the Bucky way too close to these tanks for it to really be relevant. If a Bucky is not outranging, and I believe I've said this in other videos, but if the Bucky is not outranging enemy units, then it's basically not doing its job. Then it might as well not be there, honestly, because it will die faster than it can kill anything that's shooting back at it. Almost exclusively. Definitely for the cost. Buckies are going to miss like crazy and are not going to really be dealing the damage that that a tank can do, especially a tank, I guess, when considering how they can shoot back at the Bucky as well. So RedDog only still has a few Buckies out on the field, and unless he starts converting a lot of these units to tanks, he won't really be able to get much done. Obviously, the heavy mines are going to be a problem should he decide to push to fort. And Atyla, with all these creeps stacked, kind of makes me feel like he's eventually planning on pushing. But because we are almost at 10 minutes, you might want to consider selling off those creeps or getting them, getting them killed, so he can upgrade them to level 3 creeps once the time rolls around to 10 minutes. So now RedDog, again, spreading his units out, favoring the top side, maybe going to try to push to top outpost. Okay, and there you go. Going to push mid, which is not going to work because of all those heavy mines. That's very dangerous. Okay, just pushing so he can stop? I'm not really sure if he was... Okay. Okay, I think he pushed on a capture command, which would naturally take this path, I think, because it's slightly shorter than this path. But if he wants to make them go up, yes, he is going to have to do a follow and move. A follow move. Okay, now pushing back. Atyla does definitely see this. And he's not reacting at all. Could push to mid now. but will he take that chance? Red Dog has a lot, basically his entire army pushing up to top. Atyla will move his army to counteract it. Does Red Dog see this? And actually, okay, a bunch of gangsters were built back here that I didn't even realize were there. Is there anything here? No. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the action. But Atyla moving his units into defensive position. This outpost will definitely be neutralized before the units get there because of the. Oh no. Okay. The gangsters are way ahead. So Red Dog bringing a couple of creeps to try to take this post under control, but now fighting an Osprey. Oh, but the Osprey getting way deep into the enemy units and getting itself killed. A single flakper was definitely enough for that to happen. And, okay, a surround on the post. Tons of units everywhere for Atyla. If you look at the minimap, the majority of the super spread out ones are heavy mines. But Atyla now coming back to the fight. It is 30-47 in favor of blue. Atyla is way ahead in upkeep. But now his units are out of position for the mid. Oh no, now he has actually moved them forward. So they might be able to neutralize that middle outpost. And Red Dog needs to pull back here. There is almost no way he can win this fight. So doing a follow and or even a retreat command would do good for Red Dog's situation. Middle has not been neutralized because Atyla did not set those tanks in range of that middle outpost, which I would consider a mistake at that point. But tons of creeps are now firing over. Or no, not firing over, but yes, firing over to whatever units are there. And now Red Dog has brought his units back in defensive position, but really low on health. Needs to land and Q heal. Okay, no, Atyla actually getting out damaged there. And Red Dog falling back to his forward post to get the heal because his the middle is out of energy, and now forced to pull back to the left side of mid. Atyla can easily do a ferry over here because he is dramatically outnumbering the army size of Red Dog. Red Dog with a couple of gangsters. Even still, I think Atyla can push, or not push over, but ferry over his units. He had tons of tanks. Even the gangsters could have been distracted. But Atyla is still playing it safe and positioning artillery onto the other side of mid. Or to fire onto the other side of mid. But Red Dog now going with a gangster-heavy army, which could push around the bridge and basically to wherever he needs it to be. Atyla still focusing tanks. And Red Dog now going to go for the neutralization down here. A couple Whoppers down for Atyla. That explains his max upkeep lead. But Atyla going to just heal up those Whoppers. Red Dog pretty low on energy here, so I don't know if he will be able to get the escape. Does have 1 point in afterburners. Going to pull back to the middle outpost here, the middle outpost area, and it is 52-27, so Atyla is more than, well, almost double. 2 more upkeep could easily make that, I'm assuming. Does have about 5k in the bank. Will be able to queue up another tank pretty soon. Does transform so he can Q heal. Red Dog almost got that follow and finish, but the artillery definitely doing work for Atyla here. And Atyla again could probably ferry over as long as he concentrated it on the right spot. Okay, I don't know where those were going. That was a strange sound that happened just now. But Atyla following Red Dog here. Red Dog pulling back even further to the top. Okay, gonna do a bridge push. So, set those on attack. Needs to, definitely set them on attack instead of follow or move. Needs to recommand them if he wants them to stop at this outpost. Atyla definitely does see that Red Dog moved out, but I guess didn't realize that he's doing a bridge push. Maybe he wanted to, maybe he assumed that he was going for, he's just pulling back or something like that. But this outpost does get neutralized. Atyla pulling back now. This outpost will go under Red Dog's control, and he will have, the outpost advantage once again. It is 3-2. Atyla getting finished off, and Red Dog with the gangsters gonna go straight for fort. Does Atyla have anything in build queue to defend against this? Not really. Just has some butchers, which will be okay. But Red Dog probably set these on hold position. No, just gonna go for the finish here. Gonna go for the fort damage. The butchers are gonna start to kill these gangsters. Will Atyla be able to get this defense off? Or will Red Dog, with that 1 more gangster, be able to do enough damage to basically make this a critical amount of health for Atyla? Another question is, does Atyla have a lunchbox? Because at this point, Red Dog's is kind of low on gangsters at the fort here. So Atyla will most likely be able to survive this attack. with very low health. So if he has a lunchbox, RedDog will not really be able to use drops to get a finish here. But if he did not bring a lunchbox, then he is pretty much screwed. Trying to drop whatever tanks he can in blocking position. RedDog really low on health and does not get finished off by Atyla. Will Atyla get... Yes, Atyla got the finish. And, okay, he will be able to hold off this assault, I think. Again, does he have a lunchbox? Does he have a lunchbox? That's the big question here. RedDog needs to do a quick drop right now. Does respawn. Atyla just doesn't seem like he has a lunchbox. Oh no! Atyla needs to wall off like a madman right now, and is a little bit too late. That is definitely enough gangsters for RedDog to get the finish. No body blocking down by Atyla, and RedDog shooting for it himself, and that is going to be it. No, I'm calling it just a smidge too early, but yeah, this is obviously over. No lunchbox on Atyla's side. Atyla needs to wall off as much as he... I mean, I don't think it's possible. Even if he had the units to do it, I don't even think it's possible, especially because you can just shoot with the mech. And there you go, RedDog with a couple jumpers. There is nothing that Atyla can do. There is no possible wall that can survive this. Again, even if he had the units to do it, and that is it. RedDog getting the finish on Atyla, winning this ranked 1v1 on Chasm. That was... I mean, the bridge push did it. The bridge push did it. And I don't know if... I guess pulling back... After RedDog got that surround, was pulling back the right choice? Probably. Those gangsters would have been able to kill those tanks pretty quick, and then Atyla repositioning them was able to get it, you know, get them more focused on whatever gangsters were there in the area. But I mean, the mech was there too. RedDog was there, so... At that point, he should have probably just done a freaking fort push. I think that was probably Atyla's only chance of winning, considering the way the game played out. After he won that battle, that RedDog. Okay, so RedDog had mid and he pushed the top, and Atyla was able to make a defense, to mount a defense using follow command, and he repositioned his units. Was able to meet RedDog's units at that outpost, so he had the advantage, and then he pulled his units back to mid. If he did a quicker mid grab and ferried his units over sooner, he probably would have been able to take and hold mid, but he kept his units on the right side, and RedDog was able to resupply his army with gangsters very quickly. There was a very, very, very short window, I think, that Atyla could have ferried over from his side of mid to RedDog's side to be able to hold mid, but it was very small. So it does make sense for him to have stayed on that side. But once RedDog reallocated the rest of his units and Atyla was able to grab mid, if he did a fort push, that at the very least, he might have been able to get a finish, but at the very least, he would have forced RedDog to react, and Atyla would have most likely been able to take his top outpost back, even though it would have sacrificed his units at mid. So there are definite trade-offs in that situation. That is definitely a game to analyze there. I might watch it back once or twice. So let me know what you guys think in the comments about... I mean, I don't really want you to comment for the sake of commenting. I want you guys to tell me what you thought of the game. That's the number one thing that I want to see in the comments, and the more I see of that, the more it makes me want to cast more games. Okay, guys? So... in addition to that, submit your replays, download the ARM replay manager, which I am accepting share links from that in my replay form now, and keep playing the game. This is RUI, and that is game. See you next time.